the Texans and the Panthers. Let's start it off. First thing you always want to look at is what is the line? What does Vegas think? Get it right here above if you see it scrolling above my head here, or we can just go right here to Bet Online, and let's check the line tonight. Pretty sure it's over a touchdown, and it's only 42 points. Here we go. So Carolina's favored 7.5 away. This game is in Houston. It's a pretty big road underdog. A home underdog. But the reason is we got a rookie quarterback, third-round draft pick. He looked okay last week when Tyrod Taylor got hurt, but he got sacked a few times, threw a pick. He's going to have turnovers. I'd be shocked if he doesn't. And we'll go over some good plays on that. The over-under is only 43, relatively low-scoring game. That's because Houston's only got a 16 or 17-point implied team total. So let's get to our article here on tonight's player pool. I'll just go over a little bit. Everybody loves Christian McCaffrey, 7.5-point favorite, but he's in play whether you're losing or winning. Guess the only thing you really have to worry about CMC is if they get to a huge lead in the fourth quarter, maybe they rest him some because he's so valuable. Robbie Anderson is probably one of the better tournament plays on the board. He's very similar to DJ Moore, but $2,800 cheaper. If I were to play some tournaments, Robbie Anderson would be one of my favorite captains. All right. The value on this slate is no doubt the Houston receivers. You got Amendola's out, Nico Collins is out. That's going to leave Chris Conley and Anthony Miller as your two full-time starters. Now, Andre Roberts is also on the team. I really feel like Conley and Miller are going to be your every down pass catchers, and you want to view this game as Houston's going to be losing, meaning Miller and Conley could get some trash receptions late in the fourth quarter, late in the second half, and we really like those two. I almost recommend jamming them two in there because they got some very expensive players on the Carolina side, and if you play them two, you can fit a lot of players. If you want to only play maybe one of these guys, Terrence Marshall's a great value on the Carolina side. Big, giant rookie, great red zone presence, the number 3 over there. He's due for a touchdown. I don't think he's got one this year. If he has, he could certainly score one or two. Brandon Cooks is just like all they throw to in Houston, especially last week. And even when Mills came in, he still peppered Cooks. So Cooks, he's $10,000, expensive play, but he's going to be a tough fade. Mills, I don't like him at all, but he's about as cheap as you're going to see a starting quarterback. He throws one lucky touchdown, even if it's meaningless in the fourth quarter against a prevent defense. Certainly a viable play. And then Panthers D, they're super expensive at $6,200. But if Houston doesn't have multiple turnovers in this game, I'd be shocked. I could see this game being 30-7 Carolina. And if that's the case, Panthers D will be in the optimal lineup. Here's our fades right here. They're just not priced right or just not getting the usage. Anybody not listed on here is certainly in play. If you fall on them as your last piece, play them. Just make sure don't play any of these fades. We are highly off of these guys here. So let's get into some builds here. And then let me just show you. Brandon Cooks, 14 targets. The next closest target was 2. There was nobody with 3 targets. Brandon Cooks had 14 targets. So unless they double him, roll some safety coverage on him, what's the worst he can do? 8 targets maybe? 8 targets. 10,000 is a lot, but especially if you're playing double ups, and safe stuff, Cooks is going to be a tough fade. So let's build a little safe tournament here. Safe double up contest here. Let's get to this contest here, and let's go to the showdown. Let's pick a double up here, and that's what we talk about is safe stuff, double ups in small tournament fields. We already built a lineup. Let's just go over it and maybe build another one from scratch. We just entered one to just have it in there. All right, so let's edit this. So this is what I preliminary built. Again, I love Cooks. McCaffrey, I just don't see how you fade him. Darnold's in a real good spot. The only thing you got to worry about Darnold is if they do get up real big, I just don't see him throwing it much in the 4. So if the touchdowns are all running, Darnold could be kind of a bust as they'll just run the clock out in the 4th. Like I said, Robbie Anderson, great value, and I really feel like you got to jam Conley and Miller in there. Let's go with something maybe a little safer. I would almost guarantee McCaffrey is going to be the most owned captain. So if you go McCaffrey there, DJ Moore's certainly in play. He's expensive. We just feel like Anderson's due for a big game, but Moore's certainly in play if you want to play him. That's up to you. Cooks, we just told you about him. Tyrod Taylor's obviously out. And like I said, Mills is about the cheapest you're going to see a quarterback. We like Robbie Anderson. Let's get Conley and Miller in there. That's our fillers. Cheap punt plays. That leaves 11-1. Right there, boom. Play DJ Moore. Leave 500 on the table. That's okay for a double up. No big deal. This is a good tournament lineup too. Perfectly viable for a tournament. Perfectly viable for a double up. This is perfectly fine. Let's try to get something in here. Let's see where we're at if we play Panthers D. Again, boom, right there. You fall on Moore for 500. Cooks, Conley, Miller. They could still get there. Cooks, I don't know if he can get there against the Panthers D, if you play the Panthers D. Let's say you fade them and you fade Cooks. Well, Arnold's a perfectly fine play tonight. So that leaves 600. You don't want to play Ingram against the Panthers D. It just doesn't correlate. David Johnson does, because we do feel like Johnson's the pass catching back, so that means the Panthers are beating them handily, which means the Panthers D had a good game. They could dump the ball off a ton in that last quarter. So what does that leave you? You can leave 1,300 on the table if you're playing a big giant contest. Let's get off of him, and like we said, our favorite captain would be Robbie. You can fade McCaffrey and you won in a giant tournament, but I just do not suggest it. Okay, I like this a lot. You got Robbie paired up with Darnold, got Panthers D in there, McCaffrey in there. This is a great lineup. It's a good quality lineup. You're looking at Conley for value, and then David Johnson. I don't know if I like this for a double up because I'm not 100% sure in the David Johnson situation. But for a tournament, I could so see David Johnson. Let's say Carolina's up 30-10, 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Johnson catches 4 passes on a meaningless drive, just dumping a ball off. Just like we saw again Green Bay with DeAndre Swift. Caught all of those meaningless passes, which we told you that if Goff is losing, he is check down Sally, man. I mean, that's just all he does is check it down. Check it down to Hockenson, check it down to Swift, and that's what he did. So bad quarterbacks check it down when the game is not on the line and they're just losing handedly. They just pad stats, check it down. So with the spread being what it is, I would advise playing more Panthers than Texans. And your value is the 2 cheapos with Conley and Miller. I would say Conley and Miller are close to must. Fill in what you can on the Panthers side. Either go all in on Panthers or you can play Cooks as your third. So I hope this helps. Good luck tonight. We'll be doing some double ups on this full game showdown. But if you want to know what we really like to do and what we really attack, make sure to subscribe to Ceiling versus Floor. Check out our Behind the Firewall video, daily video, as we'll go into where we make most of our money on DFS with these other slates.